Like, comment, share, man. Subscribe. Hit the bell notification if you want to be notified what is going on. 2023, the year is over. The year is over. Boxing is on to the next year. I mean, greatness is gonna happen next year, man. 2024, we're gonna see another plethora of fights. We're gonna see more excitement. Hopefully, we're gonna see more big matchups, and it's gonna be all everything that we expect, right? And that's what we hope for the sport of boxing, because ultimately this year was great to us. I mean, the year ended pretty well, even, right? So I mean, boxing has took a turn. Boxing is starting to get better matchups, because I think that in years prior, I think that the marination, the generation, kind of was uncaptivating the fans. Whereas now we starting to see younger fighters coming into the sport and wanting greatness. Some, not all, and it's still a lot of people that just want to get the money and go. Some want the legacy, and we've seen that throughout the years. Um, I mean, January of 2023, we got to see Javante Tank Davis, Ryan Garcia. That's what kicked off the year with a big fight, with a big bang. That's the fight that we seen, that Ryan Garcia, who had been calling out for 2 years, and they finally gave him the fight. And he went in there and he got knocked out by Javante Tank Davis. He took a knee and didn't want to get back up. Got caught with an uppercut. Took that well, and then he went and started retreating. Then he got hit with a body shot, and it was night out for Ryan Garcia. But the boxing, 2023 boxing was exciting, right? We started off with that bang. Then I want to get into a fight like Better Beef and Anthony Yard, which was another great fight that started in that month in January. Better Beef, a big head cracker. You know what I'm saying? A dude that knocks dudes out. You know what I mean? And Arthur Better Beef went in there, against Anthony Yard, another tough dude, and beat him. You know what I'm saying? The corner even had to stop that fight. The corner even had to stop that fight. Yeah, Tunde had to stop that fight. It was getting brutal, and it was time to get up out of there. Anthony Yard did his best, gave us some good work, gave him some good work, but ultimately it was just not enough against a guy like Arthur Betterbeef, who's a master at what he does, and knocking people out is his name. You know what I'm saying? Um, Navarrete Wilson. In that fight we seen Navarrete with a knockout. you know. And Navarrete was in a lot of critical fights this year. That's another fighter that gets overlooked, in my opinion. In my opinion, that Navarrete gets overlooked is true, because Navarrete is very exciting. He has such a wild style, and I think that that might be taken away from his um likability, I guess, from the media and stuff like that. But this dude has such a fun style to watch. It's so exciting. You don't know if this dude's gonna get knocked down or whatever, but we definitely saw him against Wilson get knocked down, get dropped, and come back and get the KO, the TKO victory. And I mean, it was even controversial, because the dude Wilson was like, "Yo, they gave him too much time." You know what I'm saying? But ultimately, it's at the discretion of the ref, and the ref allowed the fight to go on, and Navarrete got the TKO victory. You know what I'm saying? And that was a good fight. You know what I mean, for 2023. But then we see a fight like Benavides Plant. Another huge fight. A fight that I felt like Benavides catapulted himself in wanting to actually make that move possible to fight Canelo Alvarez, which in doubt, which in fact did not catapult him to the top to fight Canelo Alvarez. He was not able to accomplish that, and he got to fight ultimately Andrade, right? But the fight that started off for Benavides was Caleb Plant. And in that fight, not only do you see a David Benavidez who is very skilled, but you also see a Caleb Plant who is very skilled. A Caleb Plant that you got to respect his game, because his game was he was gonna go in there and give it his all. He gave his heart. You know what I'm saying? He fought to the very end and came up short, but he didn't get knocked out. You know what I'm saying? Taking that phrase from Charlo. And you would think that Caleb Plant with his style, you know, and with David Benavidez punches and bunches, that David Benavidez would try would get him out of there, but that was not successful at all. You know, next we have Ryo versus Chris Colbert, the first, the one that once that fans felt like it was a robbery in the sport. You know what I'm saying? What can you do about it? You know what I mean? This is boxing, and fighters are always gonna get robbed. You know, but a fight that was pretty crazy was Ryo Chris Colbert won, right? Because in that fight we see Chris Colbert go down, get dropped, you know, and Ryo Valenzuela. It looked to be a easy fight for Ryo Valenzuela, and it looked to for him to have won that fight. Um, it was just a robbery, and it was a unanimous decision, which is even bigger robbery, which is even a bigger robbery. You know, and that's when we got that second fight. That's why we got that second fight. Ryo even came out and said that he didn't want to take that second fight. He had to take that second fight. They made him take that second fight. Al Heyman wasn't playing with him. They told him, "Yo, you're gonna take that second fight, and that's it. That's final." You know what I'm saying? So Chris Colbert went in there for that second fight, and he did what he could do, and it just was not enough. Ryo Valenzuela ultimately got him up out of there, but it is what it is. Bam Rodriguez versus Gonzalez was a unanimous decision. Bam Rodriguez we've seen twice this year, once against Gonzalez, and then once against um Sonny Edwards in a big showdown against Sonny Edwards in a fight where it looked to be 50-50, and at one point in that fight you would have thought it was a 50-50 fight, but we definitely got to see Bam Rodriguez not too long ago. He just fought recently, so I mean, Bam Rodriguez is the man for years to come. You know, he's a young dude who has a lot of talent, who's going to be huge in the sport of boxing, and I'm looking forward to seeing Bam Rodriguez throughout these years. You know what I'm saying? Fulton in a way where damn. So this is the fight that we got from Inoue, was against Fulton. Inoue that was going up to 122 pounds to fight the guy that a lot of people felt was the guy at 122 pounds, and Stephen Fulton. Stephen Fulton obviously was touted to be that guy. You know what I'm saying? At 122 pounds. And a lot of people felt that this was a big step up for Inoue, and he was not going to be able to get the job done. Little did we get fooled, because in a way, went in there and just put on a performance where you're like, wow. You know what I mean? It was just a wow type of performance, and he ultimately got the knockout against Stephen Fulton. Big Baby Anderson versus Martin. Now this is a fight that I highlighted this fight because this is a Big Baby Anderson who was an up and coming prospect who a lot of people felt like this is gonna be the USA's next big champion in the heavyweight division, and this was our guy, and the fight against Martin dumbed everything down, and a lot of people just stopped talking about Big Baby Anderson, and it just the real Big Baby Anderson, right? And it just started. I think that it messed with his confidence as well. You know what I'm saying? Because Big Baby Anderson was full of confidence before that fight, and that was a hometown showing. He couldn't get the knockout against a guy like Martin, who had been knocked out by previous heavyweight champions. You know what I'm saying? Well, by a previous heavyweight champion. And that right there, I think, lowered his confidence in the sport of boxing. Big Baby Anderson is a key fighter to look out for in 2024. Hopefully he comes back bigger, better and stronger, because he has a lot of potential, and this is a guy that was highly talented to be the next American champion, the heavyweight champion for the USA. And after that fight with Martin, it just was not his best showing, and it looked like it took a lot from him throughout that fight. you know. Chris Eubank Jr. versus Liam Smith, the first one. The first one we saw Liam Smith, who went in there and got the victory over Chris Eubank Jr., which was super unexpected, right? We thought that Eubank Jr. was gonna fight Conor Benn. Conor Benn turns out positive for PDs and this and that, and then ultimately we see the fight against Liam Smith. Ultimately, Chris Eubank Jr. comes and gets his revenge back, so he got that get back. But that first fight, obviously had it made him hungry for that second fight, and he did not take Liam Smith lightly. That second fight especially. But that first fight, Liam Smith went in there and just put on a performance and had Chris Eubank Jr. drunk throughout the whole fight, and got the victory. So that was an entertaining fight, and so was the rematch, right? The rematch was just as exciting. Great fights all around. Lopez versus Conlon in a fight where Conlon is starting to wash out. In a fight where Conlon, we seen him not too long ago, get also knocked out. I mean, Conlon is looking like Conlon just will not be a world champion because it's just looking like every time he steps up in a fight, he gets knocked out. Every time he steps up, he just does not look that good, right? But that was a good fight. Mungia Derevchenko, another great fight in 2023. Lomachenko versus Haney, another notable controversial fight in the sport of boxing, and that was Lomachenko versus Devin Haney. We had a Lomachenko who was coming off a war, who had just got back from the war, and it was time for him to fight. And he was looking for a big fight, and that was going to be against Devin Haney. Obviously, we knew that Devin Haney, he got the opportunity to fight George Kambosos because of the fact that Lomachenko was at war in Ukraine and could not make those fights. He didn't want to leave his country in the rear view. He wanted to continue fighting for his country against Russia, and ultimately it cost him. And ultimately he came back and fought um, Jermaine Ortiz, and that was a good fight. And a lot of people felt like Jermaine Ortiz won that fight, and that could very well be, because I feel like Jermaine Ortiz has a stronger case than Devin Haney on who won that fight, right? Devin Haney, Lomachenko was a big fight, controversial fight, but a lot of back and forth. You know what I'm saying? So it was a very good fight, very entertaining, and I mean you can't ask for more. Even though Devin Haney did get the nod, you know what I'm saying? It was a very close fight, and I feel like if Lomachenko would have just gave it some more, did a little bit more in that 12th round, he would have ultimately got the victory. I can't remember what the scores cards looked like. I don't know if they were all over the place. If he would have even won the 12th round, would he really have won that fight? To be honest, the way that the judging was this year, I'm surprised. I would be surprised if they didn't have it 117, 111 in favor of um Devin Haney, and it's embarrassing for these judges and what they're doing to the sport. But that's something for another day. Foster versus Hernandez in the round of the year. The round of the year. Foster versus Hernandez in the round of the year. That was the craziest round I think I've ever seen in my life. You know, that was one of the craziest rounds I've ever seen. In a fight where it looked like Oshaki Foster was actually losing the fight, right? It looked like Oshaki Foster didn't really have too much, and Rocky Eduardo Hernandez was going at him for like 7 rounds, right? Or 6 rounds, right? Whatever you want to call it. Surgeon, what is going on, bro? What's good? What was your favorite fight of the year, Surgeon? What was your favorite fight? I'm going through right now all the fights of the year, most of the fights of the year, key fights of the year here and there. But Foster versus Hernandez, what a round of the year, round of the year performance. I mean, in a round where you seen Rocky Hernandez get hurt badly, even turn around on his opponent, and then get chased down, walk down, combination after combination. Then he comes back and he's giving work to Oshaki Foster. Then he hurts Oshaki Foster. Then Oshaki Foster hurts him. And then he hurts Oshaki Foster. I mean, what a round. You know what? I mean, just what a crazy round. If you go back, you watch that, go back on my shorts, one of the craziest rounds you will ever see. Foster versus Rocky had one of the best rounds. Hell yeah, man. I mean, one of the most entertaining rounds you will ever see. So much back and forth. And credit to both fighters because both fighters came out there and they was trading shots. You know, Oshaki Foster is not known for to be out there trading shots with anybody. You know, and that night he shined. You know what I'm saying? He definitely shined and it was his night, you know. If only I knew who the hell Hernandez was, you know, he probably would get more credit from me, but what a round, what a round this year. Junto versus Andrew Maloney. I mean, knockout of the year, knockout of the year. Lays Andrew Maloney in the 12th round. In the 12th round, lays him out and it was over. Lays him out and it was over. You know, this had to be this had to be um like one of the craziest knockouts you will ever see. You know, it was like that Teofimo Lopez, Richard Comey, except for Richard Comey was on spaghetti legs and just could not get no legs back. And it was just nuts. You know what I'm saying? Like that had to be knockout of the year. Well, Teofimo Lopez knocked out Richard Comey, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know. But what a knockout from Junto, man. Junto Nakatani. What a knockout of the year. If you go back and you watch, if you go back and you watch Junto versus Andrew Maloney in that 12th round was just war. You know what I'm saying? Bernardo knockout Conlon was a good fighter, good as well. Yeah, I talked about that one. Lopez versus Conlon, man. You know, and Bernardo Lopez, and then Conlon. I talked about Conlon on him being, you know, a type of fighter where he once steps up, he just can't get it right. You know what I'm saying? He just can't. He just doesn't have that in him. You know what I'm saying? Very, very entertaining fighter, very good fighter. But the problem is every time he steps up, he shits himself. You know what I'm saying? But Navarrete Valdez, come on, man. So we got Navarrete versus Valdez. I mean, Navarrete's name pops up a couple times in this. You know, Navarrete had a great year. And like I've been stating that Navarrete is an overlooked fighter. You know, this is a fighter who who fights. I believe he fought 3 times this year, if I'm not mistaken. 4 times maybe. You know, this is a fighter that's ready to go. Or maybe he just fights so often where you're just like, damn, this dude is producing like crazy. You know what I mean? But wow, what a fight against Valdez. I mean, that was just great. Even when Vaquero fought Wilson, it was good. Yeah, I talked about that too. When he fought Wilson, even though it was a controversial and Wilson was bitching and shit, when he was talking about that, you know, the count took too long, and that's understandable. He might have felt that way, but it's at the discretion of the referee, and the referee let the fight go on, and ultimately Vaquero got the knockout. You know what I'm saying? That Wilson fight was crazy, getting dropped and knocking out Wilson. Yeah, getting dropped was even more crazy because everybody knows Vaquero's style. You know what I'm saying? It's a crazy, crazy, weird style. He has one of these weirdest styles in boxing, you know, where it's like, dog, you're doing everything wrong, but everything you do just works out for you. You know what I'm saying? He said, I'm in New York. Here in the gym, we starting to see more Puerto Rican fighters in the gym. True shit, true shit. Navarrete Valdez, Ramirez Espinoza, Robesi Ramirez versus Espinoza. I mean, what can you say about this fight? You know, what can you say about Robesi Ramirez, a guy that, you know, a Olympic gold medalist, a guy that beat Shakur Stevenson in the Olympics for the gold medal. You know, I mean, a guy that was touted to be that top guy, a guy from Cuba who defected to the United States, a guy who had to overcome so many obstacles just to be here. And in his very first fight of his professional career, he takes a loss. And then he takes on a second loss against a guy like Espinoza, who was not really known in the sport of boxing up until he fought Robeisy Ramirez. And now this was just pretty crazy because you see a guy named Robeisy Ramirez who gets a knockdown in that fight and then gets knocked down in that fight. Ultimately, Espinoza came out of the woodwork and we seen him shine. And that's how Navarrete came out of the woodwork. Nobody knew who Navarrete was until we seen Navarrete. And everything that he was doing, people were criticizing. Now people have grown to love Navarrete. Why? Because he's very entertaining. He's a good dude. He drinks beer and he loves to have fun. You know what I'm saying? They always beating Honduran fighters. Was never sold on Robeisy. Yeah, man. Hey, Robeisy is that type of fighter, bro, where it's like good fighter, undisciplined. And I feel like that's what it is. Good fighter, undisciplined. If you go back, if you watch interviews or you watch things about Robesi, you could tell that he's a little wild, like a little odd. You know what I'm saying? That's what he is, a little odd. And that's what I feel like Robesi, for me, could have been a great fighter, but I think ultimately he's gonna be in the middle of the pack. You know what I'm saying? He's not gonna be an elite level fighter. Canelo Charlo. Canelo Charlo in a fight where people were actually going crazy, right? I'm not gonna talk about Canelo too much because we know Canelo is, right? Face of boxing, whatever. We know his accolades, we know his pedigree. If you don't know, inform yourself, right? But Charlo, right? Jermel Charlo at that, right? Where we thought that Jermel Charlo was actually the better Charlo between him and his brother. We thought that Jermel Charlo was the type of dude that was a warrior inside of the ring and he was gonna give it his all. And we thought that even if he wasn't fighting Jamal Charlo, that him fighting Jermel Charlo was actually gonna be a better fight, right? Because we thought that Jermel had that more dog in him. We were 100% completely wrong about this dude. He might have won undisputed. He might have been that guy. He might have did those things, but at the end of the day, he was absolutely, I mean, just horrific. You know what I mean? And it was a complete robbery that night. And I just feel bad for the Charlo brothers because they're good fighters, but it's just like something in them is just like I don't know. They just don't click inside of the sport of boxing, right? Nobody really likes them. Nobody really looks for them. Good fighters. Jamel Charlo was coming off that high horse with those victories, becoming undisputed, 154 pounds, and then decides to move up to 168. And in an undisputed versus undisputed. So the time the shit was there. And then comes and tells us that this dude comes and tells us, at least I didn't get knocked out, which was embarrassing, right? Because that was exactly what he didn't want to happen for him to get knocked out. And ultimately, he got his goal and he got his paycheck, and that was it. Teofimo Lopez versus Josh Taylor in a fight that I feel like is fight of the year, might not be fight of the year to everybody else. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like it was fight of the year for me because of the reason why I was there. I was in the building. I was in there supporting my boy Tio, you know what I'm saying? In a fight where I'm like, yo, this is a very 50-50 fight. In a fight where a lot of people didn't feel like Teofimo Lopez could pull off a victory like that against a guy like Josh Taylor. And he goes in there and he boxes the shit out of Josh Taylor, but not in a boring way, not in a boring ass style, not in this I'm gonna hit you and then run away. Nah, it was everything was there. You know what I'm saying? He was getting hit, but he was also just entertaining everybody. And it was just the Teofimo Lopez show, and you knew about it. The Hulu Theater was going crazy. MSG was going crazy. The whole thing was sold out, packed out, there to see Teofimo Lopez. Yes, Xander Zayas did fight, but most people were there to see Teofimo Lopez and Teofimo Lopez, and that's it. Teofimo Lopez had one of the greatest fights that I've seen from him. Even when we seen him knock out uh cuz name Comey. You know what I'm saying? Even when we seen him knock out Richard Comey, even when we seen him beat Lomachenko, I mean, what an impressive fashion for you to beat a guy like Josh Taylor in that fashion, especially when you see him fight a guy like Pedro Campa, who a lot of people didn't feel like, I mean, I didn't even really feel like that was a big fight. You know what I'm saying? You just stepping up 240 pounds and you fighting this dude, whatever. You know what I'm saying? But then the Sam Martin fight where do I still got it? You know what I'm saying? So like all of that trickled in that, put it on that, and then that type of performance, yeah, you still got it, kid. I mean, you gotta continue. You know what I'm saying? But I think I'm hoping for bigger things for Teofimo Lopez in 2024. This year he only got one fight in. I think that was very unfortunate. I think that was a misuse of your time. You should have fought more. That retirement shit. I mean I understand you want to get your money, but we also want to see you fight champ. So Haney versus Regis Prograis. I mean, in a fight where I never thought that Haney would ever take. In a fight where I'm gonna say I didn't think that Devin Haney would take that type of fight against that type of opponent. Regis Prograis, obviously, a lot of people felt that he was the top dude at 140 pounds. Me, myself, I was not tricked by that. He already had got beat by the man, and his name was Josh Taylor, you know. And at that time, you know what I'm saying, Regis Prograis just didn't have any type of advantage except for power. In that night, when Devin Haney put on that type of performance against Regis Prograis, I mean, it was a very respectable performance. He did exactly what he said he was going to do. It was very respectable. He did what he did. I felt like he ran at times, and the crowd was booing like shit at points in times. You know what I'm saying? Because that's his style. You know what I mean? He can't really change that. You know, but I don't even think I remember seeing Regis Prograis land a shot. That's how embarrassing that was. That was an embarrassment to boxing. That type of performance was an embarrassment to boxing from Regis Prograis. I mean, literally, dog. Like, what the fuck were you doing? Like, what were you training for? You know what I'm saying? All of this shit. Devin Haney told him, dog, you're a one trick pony. You literally have nothing. You're not going to be able to do nothing with me. And that's exactly what happened. Regis Prograis is a one trick pony, one dimensional fighter, only one trick up his sleeve. He's that fighter. Only one trick up his sleeve. You can't trust fighters like that, man. You can't trust them. They just don't have nothing else. They don't know what to gauge. They don't know anything else. They never even been in that type of fight. You know what I'm saying? And this is a Devin Haney who has zero power, bro. Who has pillow fists, who is known to be pillow fisted. This dude didn't knock down Lomachenko, and Lomachenko's way smaller than him. You know what I'm saying? This dude ain't knocked down none of his opponents in the last like 4 or 5 fights, but he knocks down the hitter. I don't know. Something weird there. You know what I'm saying? Regis only good being a counter puncher, can't cut off the ring. Terrible feet. Horrible feet, bro. Horrible feet. Horrible feet, bro. I mean, it was just embarrassing. Now we're gonna get to another embarrassing fight this year. Shakur Stevenson versus Edwin De Los Santos. I mean, embarrassing performance from both fighters. Two fighters, one fighter who gets in the ring and starts talking about, yeah, I got injured. Where the fuck is the paperwork? That's what I want to know. One thing I want to know is where's the paperwork? Because he said that he went and got checked by the doctors and this and that. This fake ass bullshit. You know what I'm saying? They're talking about him if he's gonna get a surgery, this and that. I heard them talk about that with Akin Barak. Bullshit, bro. Dude hasn't gone to a fucking doctor at all. He has no injury, nothing like that, man. He's bullshitting the fans, It's to keep you entertained. You know what I'm saying? He was scared of the power. He wanted to stay away from that at all costs. And then he made up some bullshit saying that, yeah, he had the tricks up his sleeve, that he was coming forward and this and that. Bro, you just didn't have nothing for that dude, man. All you had was your feet. You know what I'm saying? That's all you had was your feet, and you utilized it. I mean, even more embarrassing performance from Edwin De Los Santos, somebody who, I mean, come on, dog. Like, why did you even beat a guy like Rayo Valenzuela when you know you some shit? That's the problem with this, right? I hate when shitty ass fighters beat prospect or something, and then dog, like you don't even pan out to beat nobody, and then like the top fighter, they just pick you out of the bunch. You know what I'm saying? And then they get the opportunity, and the dude that everybody was like, nah, he's gonna beat this shit out of you. You know what I'm saying? And then he goes and gets beat. You know what I mean? Dude goes and gets beat, and then we don't get to see that fight, and then we get to see the fight with this dude that's not even worthy enough, bro. That shit blows me. Don't that shit blow you, bro? Every time that shit happens, bro, it's always like, let's say Devin Haney, right? Let's just make up a scenario, right? Let's say like make up a scenario. Devin Haney, um, it's just lingering. He's just there, right? Let's say Shakur Stevenson, Edwin De Los Santos, right? We're saying that we want to see Shakur Stevenson versus Devin Haney. That's the fight we want to see. I think that Shakur Stevenson is going to outbox him, do this, do that. In a make believe world, let's just say that Edwin De Los Santos has success and he just knocked out Shakur Stevenson that night, right? Let's just say that. Well, guess what? Devin Haney will pounce at the opportunity to fight Edwin De Los Santos, but he never pounced on that opportunity to fight Shakur Stevenson. That shit always happens in boxing, bro. That shit fucking blows me. That's what I don't like about boxing. You know what I'm saying? It's like when Teofimo Lopez loses, right? He loses to George Kambosos. After he loses to George Kambosos, Shakur Stevenson, Ryan Garcia, Devin Haney. I mean, the list goes on of how many fighters were lining up to fight George Kambosos. You know what I'm saying? It's embarrassing, to be honest. If we're being 100% honest, like that's the type of shit. They gotta find that weakness. You know what I mean? And then they'll fight that fighter. You know what I'm saying? Like the shit sucks, bro. The shit sucks. Once a fighter has a off night, they claim injury. Yeah, yeah, that's unfortunate, but I mean, it is what it is, though. Fighters gonna be fighters, man. And I mean, I understand them at certain aspects. It is what it is. Fighting is fighting. At the end of the day, fighting is fighting. And maybe he was injured. Maybe. But I don't care, because we're the fans. We want to see you go in there and fight. That's what we paid money for. That's why we pay money, because we want to see you fight. You know, if you want to play, if I want to watch chess, I'm just gonna go watch chess. I'm gonna just go to the fucking park and watch people play chess, bro. If I want to watch dudes run, dog, I just turn on the fucking marathon or something, bro. Like I don't got time for that shit, dog. You're wasting my time. You're wasting everybody's time. And the one thing you can't get back in this world or in this life is time. You know what I'm saying? So your time is valuable. These dudes are getting paid to do this shit, to embarrass themselves, to embarrass you. That shit is embarrassing, bro. And then you got idiots that say, oh no, the fighters, this and that, blah, blah, blah. These motherfuckers get paid millions, dog. I could care fucking less what the fuck they gotta say. They don't give me no money. I enjoy the sport. But dog, if I had to watch a guy like Shakur Stevenson or a guy like that has to run around the ring all night, I can't do it, bro. I can't do it. That's just not the sport that I want to watch. You know what I'm saying? If I wanted to watch chess, I would watch chess. I'll go to a fucking park and just watch people just play chess. You know what I'm saying? If I want to fucking watch marathons, track and field or something, what the fuck, bro? I'll just watch people running the 4-4 in the fucking NFL combine or some shit. I don't give a fuck about none of that shit, bro. You know what I'm saying? So when they tell you it's chestnut checkers, it's hit, get hit, just shut the fuck up, dog. Shut the fuck up. This is a combat sport, bro. It's a combat sport where two men are going inside of the ring and fighting. throwing hands, throwing fists. I don't want to hear that bullshit. Oh, he just didn't get hit. Da, 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 but shut the fuck up, bro. You sound fucking stupid. You know, that it irks me. You know what I'm saying? Like it irks me. Like fans really like. Anybody could just slap them in the face and they just be like, yeah, 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 like looking stupid with the fucking sad face. You know what I'm saying? If it's bullshit, just call it out, bro. It's bullshit. I just don't. At the end of the day, it's just not the type of styles that I want to see in boxing. I don't. It's boring to me, right? It's boring, and I got too, and I don't have time to be watching shit like that. Especially when you got shit to do. You know what I'm saying? So 2023, great fights, man. Great fights. Let's run down the list, man. Summer fights. This ain't everything. This ain't everything at all. Look, Davis Garcia, Better Beef, Anthony Yard, Navarrete Wilson, Benavides Plant, Rayo Chris Colbert, Benavides Andrade, Navarrete Valdez, Rayo Chris Colbert 1 and 2, Bam Rodriguez Gonzalez, Bam Rodriguez, Sonny Edwards, Fulton Inoue, Big Baby Anderson Martin, Eubank Jr., Liam Smith, Lopez Conlon, Mungia Derenchenko, Haney Loma, Foster Hernandez, Junto Nakatani, Maloney, Navarrete Valdez, I said that one, Robesi, Ramirez, Espinoza, Canelo Charlo, Teofimo Lopez, Josh Taylor, Haney, Regis, man. Come on, man. Name some more that we ain't talk about. It was hella fucking fights, bro. I just had to name some notable ones, right? Because obviously we seen the one that just happened not too long ago. Anthony Joshua, uh, Deontay Wilder. We seen all of those fights. Those are pretty fresh in our mind. You know what I'm saying? I'm missing more though. I'm missing so many more because this year was a great year of boxing. To be honest, if we're being 100% truthful, this year was a great year of boxing. And if I had to say what fights were embarrassment, I mean, there was only like that I could think of maybe like two or three that were embarrassing to the fucking sport, bro. You know what I'm saying? What's his name? Morataya versus Torres as well. They not on the biggest scale though. You know what I'm saying? Like Diego Pacheco, he could get in there. You know what I'm saying? Morataya, I mean, yeah, Morataya is a good fighter, bro. I just need to see more. I need to see more from these fighters. Virgil Ortiz, I'm excited for Virgil Ortiz 2024, man. Sign that dude up, man. He's the truth. You know what I'm saying? I'm excited for um Gary Antoine Russell. I'm excited for Gary Antoine Russell. 17-0, 17 knockouts. Fucking Virgil Ortiz, 19-0, 19 knockouts, bro. I'm excited for those two fighters, knockout artists, two fighters that go inside of the ring and give it they all. I'm tired of seeing these dudes fucking running around like pussies inside of a ring and then just embarrassing the sport of boxing. Bam Rodriguez is a dog, bro. Bam Rodriguez is a dog. Lomachenko's a dog. You said Pacheco versus Caceres. It was a good fight. Was it? Yeah. It's fine, yeah, bro. I mean, there was so many good fights, bro. So many good fights. So many good fights. Virgil and Russell need to be active. Exactly, bro. I mean, it's 2024, man. I actually met Gary Antoine Russell not too long ago at fucking Walmart. You know what I'm saying? I was like, yo, you Gary Antoine? He was like, yeah. He was like, dang. I was like, what the fuck you doing around here, bro? You know what I'm saying? But, he says he wants to fight Devin Haney. He says he wants to fight he'll take a fight with Teofimo Lopez. And he says he's looking forward to a fight with Subriel Matias. So that could be big, bro. That could be big. A fight with Subriel Matias for Gary Antoine Russell would probably be the best thing possible for him. Devin Haney's not going to fight him. He's too much of a problem. He's too skilled. He's not fighting Gary Antoine Russell, bro. He's not fighting. I mean, I wanted to tell Gary Antoine that shit when I seen him. I wanted to tell him so bad. I was going to be like, bruh, Devin Haney's not gonna fight you, bro. You're too much of a problem, bro. You you don't have anything for him to be like, yeah, I want to give him an opportunity. He ain't giving no opportunities. Come on, man. Let's be serious. He doesn't see no weakness in Gary Antoine. You know what I'm saying? You don't see no weakness in him. So he's not gonna take that type of fight. Devin Haney from now on is only gonna fight fighters who he feels that are weaker, have less skill. I mean, literally everything, reach, everything. Devin Haney's not gonna take a fight on if he does not have every single advantage. You'll see that, and then we're gonna point that out this year because he's probably gonna fight once or twice this year, right? Oh shit, I forgot. Terrence Crawford, Earl Spence, man. Terrence Crawford, Earl Spence. Terrence Crawford, Earl Spence. Fight, right? Fight that everybody's been waiting for, was waiting for. We said, man, yo, since these dudes was probably like, like 5, 6 years ago, right? That's the fight that everybody was waiting for, this and that. Oh, Terrence Crawford the best. Nah, Earl Spence is the best. Nah, Earl Spence was signing the most paychecks on YouTube. That's what it really was. It was a fucking facade, man. Earl Spence was a good fighter, man, just never an elite fighter. And we're being 100% truthfully honest about things. The 147-pound division was nothing but good fighters. None were elite. There was only one that was elite, and his name was Terrence Crawford, and he proved that, right? Any of the guys that Earl Spence beat, I mean, Terrence Crawford would have knocked out. You know what I'm saying? If we're being 100% truthfully honest with ourselves, right? And then Earl Spence after the car accident, might be even worse than prior than the car accident, right? He just came back and he was just better, a little bit better than those guys, right? You had a Danny Garcia who didn't even throw a fucking punch, bro, until the end. He literally was lost inside of the ring. Didn't know what the hell he was doing inside of that ring. You know what I'm saying? Or your Dennis Ugas, who has zero power, fucking hurt him throughout that fight. What were we expecting? You know what I'm saying? Of course, the hype is beautiful, but at the end of the day, if we're being 100% truthfully honest with ourselves, Earl Spence was nothing but just a good fighter. He's just a good fighter. I mean, and that's nothing wrong with just being a good fighter. You're not bad. You know what I'm saying? And you got paid. Santillon versus Rocha. Rocha got his ass beat, bro. Santillon was the shit, bro. Santillon is the shit. I fuck with Santillon. I can't wait to see more of his fights, bro. Yes. And that was, if I'm not mistaken, I think that fight. The only thing about Santillon, is he undefeated or is he like Zapata, bro? Where it's hard for him to get that in unless he's fighting to the level of his competition, right? Because we seen that shit with Zapata, bro. Oh, and that dude Richardson Hitchens, versus dog. Get that dude the fuck up out of here. Richardson Hitchens, I don't ever want to see that dude ever fight again. Bro. I ain't gonna lie to you. I don't want to see him. Devin has good matchmaking, great matchmaking, bro. If he doesn't have every single advantage, he's not fighting you. It's as simple as that, bro. Devin Haney has the greatest matchmaking. And look, it's the smartest matchmaking. Why is this the smartest matchmaking? Literally look at a guy and just see this guy has zero advantages over me. I'm fighting him next. And it's simple, bro. That is that simple. Like, dog, we could be telling Devin Haney who to fight next because the dude has literally zero advantages over him. It's just crazy, bro. I mean, look, he's gonna fight Ryan Garcia. What is he gonna do against Ryan? He knows that Ryan is no advantages over him. No advantages over him. You know what I'm saying? No advantages over him. But the storyline is gonna be funny because why? Because they're 3-3 in the amateurs. So it is what it is. Never put Earl in the eye. Yeah, me neither, bro. Talking about I beat a pound for pound fighter. I mean, bruh. I mean, yeah. Yeah. Because I mean, if we who could you have put in that time period, who could you have put over Earl Spence not being on that top pound for pound, a unified champion? So, okay, yeah. Terrence Crawford's not wrong in his analysis saying that, he beat a top 5 pound for pound fighter or whatever. But Teofimo Lopez did it twice, bro. Like, okay, but it's also comes down to activity, bro. Like, it's just not, I just beat a fucking pound for pound fighter. If that's the case, then Canelo should be fighter of the year too, because Jamal Charlo was a pound for pound fighter. Santion's undefeated. Okay, yeah. Yo, he's a WBO mandatory. Santion's a dog, bro. He's a dog. He's gonna be a problem. He's a fucking problem. That dude's a problem, bro. Good fucking fighter. Better be unified, but wasn't pound for pound. Yeah. Canelo beat Jamel. He was pound for. Yeah, exactly, bro. Canelo beat Jamel. So I mean, like, what do you want us to give you a cookie because you beat a pound for pound fighter? Which, by all means, I love it. Don't get me wrong, I love it. You beat a pound for pound fighter. Yes, that is 100% true. I'm not gonna knock you for that, and you are 100% right. For what? You can't knock a dude. He did beat a pound for pound fighter. But to say you're fighter of the year, you also have to bring activity. Yes, you beat a really good opponent, bro. You beat a very good opponent or a good opponent, right? And especially in others' eyes, I mean, that was the matchup. You know what I'm saying? That was the matchup that everybody wanted to see. You know what I mean? So it just took too long. You know what I'm saying? It took too long. Got overly marinated. Nobody gave a fuck after a while. You know what I'm saying? Like the box office, it didn't do box office numbers. You know what I'm saying? Like it didn't. It wasn't like a huge increase in anything. So I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know, but it was a good fight against a good fighter, right? And you came out on top. You completely dominated that fight. 100% respectable. You know what I'm saying? But to call you fighter of the year, you have to have dog. If I see the other man and he's putting in more work, bro, I'm not gonna overlook him just because you beat one guy. Come on, let's be honest, bro. I'm not gonna overlook that guy that was putting in work. He beat a guy like Stephen Fulton and then became undisputed and went up in weight. You gotta literally put this shit in context. Went up in weight, beat a guy like Stephen Fulton, who everybody thought was the dude, right? That guy. And then he goes and fucking tops the year off with the polish to become undisputed in that division. Come on, bro. Yeah, you gotta respect too. The sport of boxing, you have to respect in the sport of boxing. You know, just because you like a fighter, that don't mean that is right. I like Teofimo Lopez, but I'm not over here calling him fighter of the year. And he had a great performance against Josh Taylor. A great fucking performance. But dog, inactivity is not gonna get you in that list, bro. You know, we gotta reward people that deserve to be rewarded. You can't be overlooking. That's why biases come, right? Because just because that's your favorite fighter, he had a great fight and a fight that made your panties drop. You know what I'm saying? That's when you decided, he's the fighter of the year. Fighter of the year, why, dog? Because he did his fucking job and actually finally fucking fought. Come on, bro. But fought once? Bro, I don't respect that one time a year shit. You know what I'm saying? That one time a year. The 2020 joint, who he fight? Avanesian? Come on, bro. Disrespecting the sport. And then you disrespecting the shit out of the sport. You know what I'm saying? You finally got that fight with Errol Spence. Finally. Mr. I don't need no tune-ups. And then fucking, yeah, you dogged the shit out of him. Of course. But dog, if we're gonna sit there and just lie to each other and just say, "Oh yeah, no, Terrence Crawford, that you're disrespecting the sport of boxing, and that shit is disrespectful." Nakatani, I mean, um, Nawul Inoue, he put in that work, man. He put in that work to be where he's at, and he deserves it. You know, so I can't take that away from Nawul Inoue at all. Can't take that shit away from him. Great fighter, man. Great fighter. He's 30 years old. He's already getting up in age, dog. That's the only thing I don't like about Inoue. He's too fucking old. He's too old, bro. You know, his time is about to go. You know what I'm saying? And the other thing I hate about Inoue is this motherfucker loves to fight on Tuesday mornings, bro. Where they do that at, bro? Where they do that at? Where they do that at? Fucking Japan wants to be 6 hours, 6 days ahead of us and shit. You know what I'm saying? Fucking ridiculous, bro. It's Tuesday morning on the East Coast, and for Japan it's like fucking Thursday night and shit. Like, come on, dog. Clearly, anyway, yeah, dog. I mean, there's no question about it. No questions in my book. There's no question. Two very good opponents, bro. Two very good opponents, and became undisputed. Oh, and don't let me take don't let me take Crawford's accolades either. He became undisputed as well, but he fought once, and when it's that close, I'm gonna give it to the guy with the activity, bro. You know what I'm saying? And fought two good opponents, two great opponents. Come on, Fulton was a great fighter. Coming up from 122 pounds, come on, man. You can't take the credit from that dude, man. That's disrespecting boxing. Just because you're biased on your fighter. That's disrespectful to boxing. Imagine if I sat up here and fed you bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Imagine if I sat up here and fucking told you bullshit. Nah, Teofimo Lopez is the fighter of the year. He's the fighter of the year. There's no way. Just remember, before this motherfucker was questioning himself. Then he came in with a fucking banging ass performance, had the motherfucking going crazy. Dog, I'll be lying to you. I'll be lying to myself. I'll be lying to everybody in this world, bro. He became lineal. He became two-time lineal. Yeah, he did. Good job for him. Didn't fight enough though. Just didn't fight enough. Can't give you that. Those type of accolades need to be rewarded to guys that deserve to be rewarded. You know what I'm saying? And I respect not one in a way. Um, in the fights that he gave us this year in impressive fashion, knocking out a guy like Stephen Fulton. Come on, man. That's impressive, bro. That's impressive. Tapales. Knocking out a dude like Tapales to become undisputed. Impressive, bro. I can't take that away from him. Beat two prime fight. Exactly, bro. Two fighters that were in their prime. Two fighters that were in their prime, champions, world champions, and coming up from a lower weight division to go up to 122 pounds. We got to put this shit in. This shit is crazy to me. I mean, literally, I rate Bam second fighter of the year. Dog, Bam been getting it, bro. I mean, let me see. Bam Rodriguez versus Gonzalez. Bam versus Sonny Edwards, bro. And you know what I said in my last live, right? I don't know if you caught that or not. I said I even give more credit to Devin Haney than Terrence Crawford for the year. Like I would literally put Devin Haney ahead of Terrence Crawford as fighter of the year if those were the two names, right? I fucking hate Devin Haney. I don't fucking like that kid. You know what I'm saying? I don't like him. I don't like him at all. But guess what? I'm not gonna sit here and sugarcoat shit and bullshit you. He had two very good fights. One was controversial, so I would not give it to him. And after a while, I started thinking about that shit. One was controversial, so I wouldn't give him fighter of the year, right? One was controversial. You can't be fighter of the year, bro, and have a controversial fight. It's just not gonna happen, right? Obviously, but I do put his wins, or I do put his what he did this year over Terrence Crawford. He got undisputed this year, beat Lomachenko, even though a lot we didn't feel like he won that fight. I mean, if we're being 100% completely honest, he didn't win that fight. But it is what it is, right? It's boxing. And we already know this shit. Fucking and then you fight a guy like Regis. You go up to 140 pounds. I respect that, bro. I respect that. You took Regis out. You know what I'm saying? I respect that. Because even though I don't feel like Regis was shit, but dog, his name was still touted as that guy, right? He was still touting as that boogeyman. Oh my God, nobody wants to fight Regis. Oh, this and that and this and that. Nah, bro, it's just Regis, just Regis, bro. It's okay. He's all right. You know what I mean? But so he did his due diligence this year, dog. He did his due diligence, and I mean I gotta respect it. So yeah, man. I mean, great fighters, great fights. It was a lot of shit this year. Knockout of the year though. That Junto Nakatani joint over Maloney was crazy. Rayo Valenzuela versus Chris Colbert for the comeback. You know what I'm saying? And it was true what Rayo said, man. He said, man, they made him fucking fight me. They made him fight me. He didn't want to fight me. They made him fight me. They made him take that fight. If they didn't make him, he wouldn't be fighting me. You know, that's what Rayo said. Rayo knocked his ass the fuck out of here. You know what I'm saying? Shit's crazy, bro. Hey, man, but I'm about to get up out of here, man. It's 2 a.m. in the morning. 2 a.m. in the AM. Yeah, man, it's late now. But like, comment, share, man. Subscribe, hit that bell notification if you want to be notified, man. My man, Surgeon, man. Appreciate you coming through, my brother. You know what I'm saying? Hell yeah, hell yeah. Hell we out, man. Peace.